Alright guys, so BMW 325i, e36. Remember this guy? It used to be gold, now it's white. Anyways, so the big things about this car, 92, so it's having its 25th year anniversary. Technically it was made in 91, so that's a big thing to keep in mind. M3 mirrors, M3 side trim, M3 taillights, BMW M Sport E46 rims. More or less, that's pretty stock. Got the Ultimate Class sticker on it. It's a pretty cool car. So yeah, what I'm here today for is to kind of show you guys around the channel. Really what I'm trying to do today is we're restarting Torque Vector Productions, and we're trying to make it more varied content, more quality content, something more people can kind of grasp onto. So in doing so, I want to produce a little bit better quality reviews. I just have better locations. So as you can see, it's Napa Valley, it's not Marin. It's not like every other car review. It's a little bit different. Looks kind of the same though. There's probably cows back there. Cows are good. You make milk, you eat that in your cereal. Respect them. No, but seriously, yeah, so this is the 325i. Very good car. Don't really know what else to say. It's a BMW. But yeah, it's an awesome car. So let's get driving. Let's see what this thing can actually do. That's really what we're here for. Alright guys, so it's Etienne, I'm back. This is our BMW 325i. You saw this in an earlier video, and I've put really a lot of work into it, so I'll show you guys what's going on now. So basically, to start off, it's a different color. It's white, so instead of being beige BMW, it's white BMW. But besides aesthetics, it's really been redone. A lot of the mechanicals have been fixed. Just putting on new brakes today. I'm going to do that after this video because the old ones kind of were crap. But yeah, no, I mean, cold air intake, mostly just maintenance, nothing big on the tuning aspect. Most of the things I've done have just been getting it back to factory spec to run like it did from the factory, which I feel I've achieved pretty well. This car handles and it drives, especially the engine, I mean, just a lot better than when I bought it. So that's something to keep in mind. But cosmetically, it's looking a lot better too. So yeah, so let's do another quick drive-through review. This car, it's a 1992 BMW E36 325i, inline 6, 2.5 liter, non-vanos. It's a 4-speed automatic, and it's a pretty good car. So the E36, what is it about E36s that are pretty special? In my opinion, E36s were one of the last, I think they were the last 3 series that really had that mechanical, in touch with the road feel that you just don't get with modern BMWs or cars in general. I'm not saying they're bad cars, but what I'm trying to say is that with this car, you get something that you don't with other cars, and you're really in touch with the road. The steering feels ridiculous. You feel every bump. It's just really intuitive, and it's very in touch with the road. The accelerator, throttle, you feel the vibrations of the engine through the throttle, very much so. Same with the brakes. You feel the car where it wants to go. It feels very light. It's a very light car. It's not overpowered. It's 200 horsepower flat right now. You know, a few other things on, cold air intake, blah 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 blah. It's making about 200 engine horsepower, crank horsepower. Probably around there. It's not very much. It's pretty much bone stock, just been serviced, changed a few things out. It's a 200 horsepower car at the crank. So it's not fast, but it does handle tremendously well, especially on curvy roads like this. It's an amazing car. The point of BMWs before, I think, 2000s was really about handling and balance. This car wasn't overpowered. It's not slow in any way, but it wasn't overpowered. And that's something you got to keep in mind is very important, because you can push one of these cars to the limit most of the time. Maybe not when it's raining on a curvy road, but most of the time you can push them pretty much to the limit, and you're not going to end up in a tree and kill yourself like you would with a lot of modern cars. You turn traction off, it's raining, you have a heavy foot, you're in a ditch. This car, you still end up in a ditch, but it's a lot harder to be in a ditch. You have to be really stupid, basically. Doesn't have enough power to kill you right away, which is good because you can have fun with it without, you know, actually hurting yourself or other people. Yeah, so what else about this car? Throttle's very responsive for the most part. Steering's extremely in touch with the road. You feel everything. Very great car for that respect of things. The brakes, pretty awful. They don't work on this car. I'm getting them replaced, but everything else feels pretty good. Engine sound. The inline-six has a very nice engine note to it. It's like a metallic-y rasp kind of deal going on, especially with the new intake on it. I have a 3-inch tube going to my intake, so you get a lot of air, get a lot of induction sound. You may not be able to hear it right now, but you can definitely hear it from outside the car and when you're going above 4,000 RPM. But this car, the engine note's very nice. For a 6-cylinder, it sounds good. It's a BMW 6-cylinder. Slightly reminiscent of an e36 M3, a little bit. Not as raspy and metallic-y. Those have a very distinct sound to them. But this car does sound good. It doesn't sound like your racer Honda, which is probably a good thing. What else? Visibility, absolutely amazing on this car. This was before they had all the safety regulations requiring like massive A-pillars that you can't see anything. You're gonna run somebody over when you take a turn on a crosswalk. You know, you don't want to be running people over. It's not good, but auto manufacturers make the visibility so poor, you probably end up doing that because you can't see anything. But yeah. Suspension-wise, it's on stock springs, stock shocks. They're kind of warm. They're 25 years old. I don't really know what else to say. Ride's kind of funny. The front end's a little too high. Back's, I think, a little too low. Probably the springs need to be replaced. I'm getting those done soon, so nothing to worry about. But very pleasant. Not a hard ride. You know, it's a very pleasant ride. Over bumps, you don't really feel jarring, but you still feel very in touch with the road. Body lean's pretty controlled right now. Stock sway bars and everything. All in all, it's a great mix between kind of having a sports car feel to it and having just a, I guess at the time, an executive sedan feel, whatever that's supposed to mean. But in my opinion, basically, it's a little tuned down, comfortable, sporty sedan is what I'm at right now. People track these things, they make them like track demons. Ride quality is gonna pretty much suck after that, but they're gonna handle, they're gonna take turns. Some people leave them stock, sacrifice a little handling for comfort, practicality. I think I'm going down that route because I daily this thing. No need to really like blow my brains out on potholes, because potholes around Napa are pretty sucky. You know, just run one over around a turn and there goes your wheel, there goes your alignment, it's all gone. I mean, they're pretty bad. You'll just take a turn and drop into a pothole, you don't see it, you're pretty screwed. So, the other thing about this car, low end torque, very bad, at least on my transmission. The low end power band is not there before around 3,500 RPM. You don't really get much power, so you're not going to be beating anybody at a race, at a light with this car. So you got a V8 next to you, just give it up, you're not going to win. But above 3,000, like rolling starts, this thing picks up. Once it's above in the power band, I'd say 4,000 to 6,200 around there, this car takes off. The throttle response instantaneous, it goes right away, no delay. And it's a quick car. It's very responsive, very quick. It feels faster than it is, and that's something very important. You feel like you're driving a race car sometimes, and you're not even going that fast, which is, I think, for most normal people who don't want to wreck their cars or go to jail, it's probably a good thing. So, what's my verdict on this car? Well, for the price, they sell between, I'd say for a good one, around 2,000 to 4,000 for a nice, 2,000 to 5,000 for a nice one. I think you're getting a lot of car for the money. They're 20 years old, around there, 20, 25 to 25 years old or so. But you're getting a lot of car for your money. You're getting a German engineered, top of the line sports sedan from the 90s. If you find one that's clean and properly maintained, you're getting a car that cost about 30,000, around there, 30,000 plus one new back in the 90s. And that's something cool, because for 3,000 bucks you can buy a car that was literally at the pinnacle of engineering at its time. And sure, it can't really compete with modern cars in my opinion, but it still feels like it can keep up. And that's something very neat about this car. What else do I notice? Turn-in's great. The weight distribution on this car, it's like 52-48. Very balanced. It just takes turns, it follows through. There's no nose diving in, there's no understeer. It's very neutral, the feel. I'm gonna start tuning the suspension to give a little more towards the oversteer, because I'm getting a little bit of understeer with this car. I'm guessing because the front's riding too high, because somebody put the shocks on wrong or something. But overall, very nice car. Very nice car. Would I recommend getting an E36? High schoolers, college students with limited budget, you want a sports sedan, you want a BMW, this is a good car. Will it be maintenance free? It will not. It's going to cost a decent chunk of money to fix and get going, but you get a lot of car for what you pay for. I'd say that for something similar, you'd be looking at 10,000 plus. This car, you get a lot of fun, you get a lot of engineering, you get a lot of looks. This is a nice car. And it's only $3,000 plus maintenance, which is probably $5,000, but you get me. So overall, would I recommend it? Yeah, I would. I wouldn't pay more than $4,000 for one, to be honest, unless it's an M3. Wouldn't pay more than $8,000 for that, at least here in California. But you can find a clean one for $3,000 to $4,000. It's very clean. I'd buy it. Great car. 4 cylinders. There's a 4-cylinder version of the 318. I don't know if I'd recommend those. I've never driven one. Just get the 6-cylinder. That's what these cars are all about. So get a 325 or get a 328. Great cars. You won't regret it. Alright, so this is Etienne, and I'm going to be concluding this review. See you next video.